Welcome to Kansas Ag Report with your host, Brian Hallman.
Welcome to Kansas Ag Report. I'm Brian Holman, and here's our lineup for today's show. In Ag News, we'll take a look at local and national headlines affecting Kansas farmers. In our Ag Feature, we sit down with Josh Rowe, Assistant Secretary of Agriculture, to discuss the economic health of agriculture in Kansas. And Inside Kansas Ag, KDA lets us know about 2 feedlot management workshops, and Kansas Wheat talks to us about their role in the Latin American and Caribbean Buyers Conference. And in News You Need to Know, we get our weekly update from the Kansas Livestock Association, we'll look back at last week's market activity with the guys from Paragon, and we'll let you know about important events coming up around the state of Kansas. Glad you could join us.
Closed captioning brought to you by
The Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. KansasSoybeans.org.
Ag Risk Solutions. Experience, knowledge, integrity. Your crop insurance solution, Ag Risk Solutions. Kansas Wheat Commission. Leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com. Kansas Livestock Association. Supporting our members' business interests to meet consumers' demands. KLA.org.
Here's our national headlines for this week in Ag News. The newly passed GMO labeling legislation will require most food packages to carry a text label, a symbol, or an electronic code readable by a smartphone that indicates whether the food contains GMOs. The food industry says 75 to 80% of foods contain genetically modified ingredients. Most of those are corn and soy based, and the FDA says they are safe to eat. The USDA now has 2 years to write the rules. More than 60 U.S. lawmakers are asking Ag Secretary Tom Vilsack to provide emergency financial assistance to the nation's dairy producers. The lawmakers say the Margin Protection Program isn't doing enough to help struggling dairy producers. MPP only makes up for some losses if margins fall below $4 per hundredweight and only after 2 consecutive months. Lawmakers want Vilsack to expand U.S. domestic dairy markets and to encourage more public consumption through government-backed dairy donation programs. Dairy farmers have seen prices fall about 40% in the past 2 years as U.S. production has increased. The American Soybean Association says it welcomes the European Union approval of 3 biotech soybean traits for import and processing, but says improvements are still needed in the timeliness of EU approvals. ASA says that their 3 soybean events received positive scientific opinions from the European Food Safety Agency over a year ago, but had been waiting for final approval by the EU Commission since January. And in local news, Kansas State University's 2016 Risk and Profit Conference will take place August 18th and 19th at the Kansas State Alumni Center in Manhattan. This year's event is jam-packed with 7 breakout sessions throughout the conference and 20 topics led by agricultural economics faculty and graduate students. There is a cost to attend and pre-registration is required. For more information on the conference, you can go to agmanager.info. 2016 cash rent agreements for Midwest farmland are about 5 to 10% lower than 2015. And some ag economists predict an even bigger drop next year. Iowa State University Extension Farm Management Specialist Kelvin Leopold says low commodity prices will be the main factor in 2017 cash rent discussions. But he says additional pressures will come from an expected decrease in ARC payments in 2017. And while some ag inputs such as fertilizer have come down, seed prices have not. So as there's talk about lowering rents, Leopold says landlords are asking, when is the input industry going to participate in some of these lower costs or lower prices? Leaders from across the state will focus on the future of agriculture this month as the Kansas Department of Agriculture will host the 2016 Kansas Governor's Summit on Agricultural Growth on Tuesday, August 30th in Manhattan. Attendees will have the opportunity to connect with other Kansas agricultural leaders and discuss strategies to help ensure the vitality of agriculture in our economy. Participation is free and open to the public, but registration is requested by August 22nd to guarantee lunch. Go to agriculture.ks.gov/summit for more information. Up next in our Ag Feature, we sit down with Josh Rowe, Assistant Secretary of Agriculture, to discuss the economic health of agriculture in Kansas. You're watching Kansas Ag Report. Please stay tuned.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Livestock Association, supporting our members' business interests to meet consumers' demands. KLA.org. Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. Grassandgrain.com. Kansas Wheat Commission, leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com.
Imagine having someone help you pick the best corn hybrids for every field on your farm. Your Oldie representative can combine your data with his data to offer a field-by-field prescription. Contact Oldie Seed today at 877-692-4555.
Biodiesel made from sustainable resources is diversifying our fuel supply. This year, biodiesel will displace over 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. It's making our economy stronger and our communities healthier. It's working here and across America. Get biodiesel going in your community. Visit americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
You need a partner that you can count on to be there for your business, providing a depth of understanding to risk management issues so you don't have to. A knowledgeable support team located in your area, delivering products and services to make you more successful.
Imagine having someone help you pick the best corn hybrids for every field on your farm. Your Oldie representative can combine your data with his data to offer a field-by-field prescription. Contact Oldie Seed today at 877-692-4555.
Thanks for staying with us this morning. We're in Manhattan, Kansas, and we're at the Kansas Department of Agriculture, and we're with Josh Rowe, who's the Assistant Secretary of Agriculture for the state. Josh, thanks for joining us this morning.
My pleasure.
This time of the year, I always try to get a mid-year review and kind of check the health of agriculture and the economy in the state of Kansas. Things, I think most people would look at it and go, the glass is either half full or half empty.
Absolutely.
Josh, how do you look at it?
Through that, I guess we'll start, I always love to start on the half full side for that. We have seen, just overall in general, the rains, the weather has been very timely. So we've seen some absolutely great looking crops, especially, the wheat harvest. It looks like our official reports we're going to be over that 400 million bushel mark. Well, whereas, a couple years ago, we were wondering if that report didn't even have a 3 in front of it, under 300 million bushels produced, and was really neat to talk to a lot of producers that were my grandparents' age and older than that even, that this was, the best wheat yields they'd ever seen. So we've seen that. Also, timely rains for our fall crops through that, pretty broadly green. That isn't to say there isn't some small pockets. So you got a big, diverse state through that, but unfortunately, on the half-empty side, our commodity prices have seen some significant declines, especially if we compare to some of the highs that we were facing in 2014. Some of the indexes for commodity prices in that are they're down close to 100%. Roughly half of what we saw on that, and that's transformed pretty broadly across the crops, and obviously our livestock and even our hay markets held at higher levels for a while, but we're seeing some declines in there.
Well, not only that, you look at the report that came out not long ago of what the annual income potentially would be this year at $2,500, and we're within a few $1,000 here.
Absolutely.
Where compared to 2 years ago, it may have been about $102,000.
Yeah.
So we're talking about $100,000 difference.
Yeah, absolutely. From some of the highest points, some record highs that we've seen down to where we're at now, barely holding above that. And kind of what we look at is that, and what I try to extrapolate through, as I said, Kansas is a very diverse state, but we'll remind you we are a very strong agricultural state, and our economy is absolutely dependent upon agriculture, and it really is. And the numbers show, the data show that as agriculture goes, in a lot of respects, so does our state economy in general. A lot of the numbers behind that really are that if you look in a kind of a typical year, I know it's tough to find a real typical year in production agriculture through that, we are at about the value of crops and livestock produce are right at about $17 billion, I give or take, which comes out to be about 12% of the state's gross domestic product or gross regional product through there. And so you think, well, agriculture does have a nice chunk through that, but there's other sectors that are bigger than that. The aviation industry, the manufacturing industry gets thrown out. But what those numbers that I shared, that $17 billion, that doesn't include all of the sectors that are present in the state that make that production agriculture possible, and then more importantly, the sectors that are present that add further value to our base agricultural commodities.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to finish up with Josh Rowe over at the Kansas Department of Agriculture. You're watching Kansas Ag Report. We'll see you in just a minute.
This segment brought to you by Farm Bureau, a grassroots ag organization representing the state's farmers and ranchers since 1919. KFB.org. Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. Grassandgrain.com. Kansas Weed Commission, leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com.
Thanks for staying with us. We're in Manhattan at the Kansas Department of Agriculture. We're joined by Josh Rowe, who's the Assistant Secretary of Agriculture. And we were talking, Josh, again, I think most people, there's a lot more to say that the glass is half empty than it is glass full, but it's really not all that bad.
Yeah, through that. And what I was, an important part to remember when we're talking about the size of agriculture in the state through that is that when you look at sectors that are, present in the state only to add value to our agricultural production, our meat packing plants, ethanol plants, flour mills, food processing plants, those are not categorized as agricultural. They're categorized as an ethanol plant is in the oil and gas industry, technically, and those other packing plants, flour mills, those are manufacturing industries. But we all know without this base production, those sectors, all those jobs created would not be present in the state, and through that. So if we take into account all of those value-added sectors, the agricultural output itself, the crops and livestock, as well as our input sectors, you're looking at roughly, our latest numbers, roughly $66 billion. And that will account for roughly 44% of Kansas's gross regional product through there. So that's really, as we say, that base production, that as agriculture goes, so can the rest of the state economy, because it's very, very highly intertwined together when you look at the pieces that fit together.
Well, Josh, we're going to keep Josh around for another segment, so we're going to have a two-parter with Josh, where there's so much information to go through. So it's easy to say that probably 1 in 4 jobs here in the state of Kansas is touched by agriculture. So thanks for staying with us, and we'll see you in just a minute. Thanks for making Kansas Ag Report the most watched ag show in Kansas.
I will take action against herbicide-resistant weeds. I will know my weeds, and I will stop them before they go to seed. I will do whatever it takes to give my crops the upper hand, and I will use multiple herbicide sites of action, because every action counts. I will take action, this time for all time.
The Kansas Department of Agriculture works hard to ensure a safe food supply and to protect animal health, as well as to promote public health and safety. I'm Sandy Johnson, Emergency Management Coordinator for the KDA, and part of my mission is to ensure Kansas is prepared for animal disease events. To achieve that mission, we are holding 2 workshops this August to help feedlots and large dairies learn more about what they can do to be prepared to keep their businesses up and running. If you're an owner or manager of a feedlot or large dairy, or if you're a veterinarian who provides service to those operations, we encourage you to attend one of these 2 programs. The workshops will focus on a variety of issues, including continuity of business, biosecurity at large operations, disease control activities, and future opportunities to increase animal disease preparedness. Participants will have the opportunity to interact with the Kansas Secretary of Agriculture and the State Animal Health Commissioner. We will feature several guest speakers at the workshops, including 2 national specialists on animal disease control. The workshops will be held in Garden City on August 24th and in Great Bend on August 25th. Both workshops will run from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Participation is free and lunch will be provided if you pre-register. You can register by emailing me, sandy.johnson@ks.gov, or by calling the Kansas Department of Agriculture office. To find out more about what KDA is doing to protect the farmers, ranchers, and agribusiness of Kansas, go to agriculture.ks.gov/animal health.
U.S. Wheat Associates and 9 state wheat commissions hosted 75 flour millers and other buyers at a Latin American and Caribbean Buyers Conference at the end of June in Portland, Oregon. U.S. Wheat President Alan Tracy said the information at the conference was specifically selected and timed to emphasize the excellent value of U.S. wheat for these buyers from 16 countries. Tracy noted that several speakers at the conference focused on how current world market dynamics make U.S. wheat an attractive choice for importers. That is an important message because income from wheat is linked to export markets, and the buyers in Latin America are taking 40% of all U.S. wheat exports, with great potential for growth. He said these are markets that also buy on the basis of the quality characteristics U.S. wheat farmers produce every year. At the conference, Kansas Wheat CEO Justin Gilpin gave an inside look at hard red winter wheat and the increasing investment in innovation that farmers are leading. He told the buyers that the quality of the new hard red winter crop is very good, the kind of wheat you want in every grist. Kansas farmers and farmers across the United States are leading the call for increased investment in wheat yield and functional quality. Gilpin said work at Heartland Plant Innovations, funded mostly by farmers, is already paying off for flour millers in new varieties with higher extraction rates.
If you would like to advertise your business on Kansas Ag Report, give us a call, 785-580-3287.
This segment brought to you by Farm Bureau, a grassroots ag organization representing the state's farmers and ranchers since 1919. KFB.org. Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. Grassandgrain.com. Kansas Wheat Commission, leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com.
Imagine having someone help you pick the best corn hybrids for every field on your farm. Your Oldie representative can combine your data with his data to offer a field-by-field prescription. Contact Oldie Seed today at 877-692-4555.
I will take action against herbicide-resistant weeds. I will know my weeds, and I will stop them before they go to seed. I will do whatever it takes to give my crops the upper hand, and I will use multiple herbicide sites of action because every action counts. I will take action, this time for all time.
You need a partner that you can count on to be there for your business, providing a depth of understanding to risk management issues so you don't have to. A knowledgeable support team located in your area, delivering products and services to make you more successful.
The producer-funded Kansas Wheat Innovation Center was built to get improved varieties into the hands of farmers faster. Kansas Wheat, farmers advancing their future through wheat genetics research.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Biodiesel made from sustainable resources is diversifying our fuel supply. This year, biodiesel will displace over 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. It's making our economy stronger and our communities healthier. It's working here and across America. Get biodiesel going in your community. Visit americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
Imagine having someone help you pick the best corn hybrids for every field on your farm. Your Oldie representative can combine your data with his data to offer a field-by-field prescription. Contact Oldie Seed today at 877-692-4555.
All Kansas commercial cow-calf producers are eligible to exhibit cattle in a special show September 14th at the Kansas State Fair in Hutchinson. The Super Cow-Calf Show will feature pairs in pasture condition with no fitting allowed. An entry consists of one cow and her natural calf. No bull calves are allowed. The age of the cow and birth date of the calf must be known and provided. Cows will be judged on type, structure, muscling, natural fleshing, and soundness of udder, eyes, feet, and legs. The calf at side will be evaluated on the same criteria. Cow weight and the calf's projected 205-day adjusted weight will be given to the judges. The grand champion pair will win $600 plus 5 straws of ABS semen, while the reserve grand champion will earn $400 and 5 straws of ABS semen. Third place will win $250, fourth place $150, and fifth place $100. Prizes will be provided by ABS by Sandra Utter of Protection, Reno County Farm Bureau of South Hutchinson, Valley Vet by Arnold Nagley of Marysville, and Central City Scale of Central City, Nebraska. The entry fee is $25 per pair. Pre-entries are due to the Kansas State Fair by August 15th and can be entered online. For more entry or show information, including health requirements, go to www.kansasstatefair.com.
Good morning. I'm Derek Hermish with Paragon Ag. Did you know the water in the Dead Sea is so salty that it's easier to float than to sink? I can think of no more apt analogy for the current status of today's wheat market. The current cash prices for Kansas City wheat put it at federal loan levels or lower in most areas. So in a way, you can't sink any lower. You can't float forever though. It's called the Dead Sea for a reason. If you need cash right now, you can sell your wheat and collect your LDP, or you can choose to take out the federal loan and use that as your cash flow for the next 9 months, potentially. If you have not done so already, you should make sure you're up to speed on what each of these options entail and how it will affect you. Details like whether your wheat is in commercial storage or in the bin, along with what your local basis value is, figure into this decision. Another factor to consider is whether you signed up for the PLC or the ARC option on your wheat acres when the Farm Bill was revamped in 2014. Farmers with PLC will likely be receiving a much larger check than those that took ARC, but there is a limit to how much money you can collect in a given year, and LDP funds collected figure into that total. Having a discussion with your local county agent, if you haven't already, would be well worth your time. I'm Derek Hermish. Have a good day.
Closed captioning brought to you by
The Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. KansasSoybeans.org.
Ag Risk Solutions. Experience, knowledge, integrity. Your crop insurance solution, Ag Risk Solutions. Kansas Wheat Commission. Leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com. Kansas Livestock Association. Supporting our members' business interests to meet consumers' demands. KLA.org.
Biodiesel made from sustainable resources is diversifying our fuel supply. This year, biodiesel will displace over 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. It's making our economy stronger and our communities healthier. It's working here and across America. Get biodiesel going in your community. Visit americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
You need a partner that you can count on to be there for your business. Providing a depth of understanding to risk management issues so you don't have to. A knowledgeable support team located in your area, delivering products and services to make you more successful.
Here at Blue River Traders, we have the greatest selection of rustic and western furniture in Kansas.
At Blue River Traders, you can select from an inventory of rustic lodge or western furnishings. With a designer on hand, Blue River Traders will help create the look you desire.